Horror games are supposed to scare you, but some games take that idea further than anyone expected. They cross lines other games refuse to approach. They make you genuinely uncomfortable in ways that stay with you long after you stop playing. These 11 upcoming horror games in 2026 go too far in the absolute best way possible. If you want safe horror, skip this list. If you want horror that actually disturbs you, let's get into it.
3 months ago, we attempted the dreaming ritual. What do you remember?
Just pain. And you?
Nothing. But I woke up, and you didn't.
I don't understand.
You were gone, and I tried to bring you back, but I failed.
Attention all visitors. Due to recent flooding and the pandemic,
The Sinking City 2 is Frogware's going full survival horror. With a flooded coastal city, you can explore however you want. The first game was a detective story. This sequel shifts completely into horror territory, and that shift feels completely right. The city is split into districts, each one more dangerous than the last. Safe houses are your only real breakpoints. Everything between them is packed with threats. Ammo is tight, supplies are limited, even your character's sanity is something you have to manage. The creatures aren't scripted, they roam freely. Nowhere feels truly safe. What makes it special is how the world shifts. Weather changes, tides rise and fall. A path that was open an hour ago might be completely blocked now. That dynamic world keeps you thinking constantly. The atmosphere is genuinely oppressive. Flooded streets, broken buildings, something moving in the water below. The city feels like it's actively working against you. The Sinking City 2 releases first half 2026. No More Room in Hell 2 is the sequel to one of the most beloved free zombie games ever made. The original built a massive community around cooperative survival horror. This sequel takes everything that worked and rebuilds it from the ground up completely. Up to 8 players survive together. The zombie horde is massive and relentless. Communication and teamwork determine survival. Going solo gets you killed within minutes. What makes it special is the genuine tension. Ammo is actually scarce, not video game scarce, really scarce. You will run out. You will have to decide whether to fight or flee. The gore system is detailed and unsettling. Zombies lose limbs, change behavior when damaged. Headshots matter. Body shots slow them down. Understanding zombie behavior is a survival skill. Map variety is excellent and disturbing. Urban environments, rural areas, tight corridors, open spaces. Each map demands different tactics. The atmosphere is consistently oppressive. Sound design creates constant tension. The horde sounds before it arrives. No More Room in Hell 2 releases early 2026.
Indulgence begins.
You long to see them hurt. You want your hands to do the hurting.
Clive Barker's Hellraiser revival is the game this franchise has deserved for 30 years. The Hellraiser mythology is unlike anything else in horror. The Cenobites aren't monsters in the conventional sense. They're not evil in a simple way. They represent something more philosophically disturbing. The idea that pleasure and pain are the same experience taken to sufficient extremes. That concept is genuinely unsettling when a game commits to it. Not gore for shock value, not violence for spectacle, but horror that comes from a complete worldview fundamentally incompatible with human comfort. The puzzle box is central to the gameplay. Solving it is the mistake, always has been. The game builds tension around what you know is coming and makes you do it anyway. The Cenobite encounters are designed around inevitability. You can delay, you can avoid, but you cannot ultimately escape. That knowledge changes how every moment feels. The environments pull from Barker's visual aesthetic completely. Architecture that shouldn't be possible. Spaces that exist in more dimensions than they should. Hellraiser Revival releases 2026.
You're born, you grow up, you die and dead. What is real and what's not?
The Occultist is a psychological horror game that takes ritual magic completely seriously. You're not a hero. You're not even a survivor. You're a practitioner of dangerous occult arts, and the things you summon don't always stay summoned. The ritual mechanics are the centerpiece. Real occult traditions interpreted with disturbing accuracy. Ingredients, timing, geometric arrangements. Getting any element wrong has terrible consequences. What makes it disturbing is the commitment to authenticity. The rituals work because they're built like real rituals. The horror comes from the implications of what you're doing, not from monsters jumping at the screen. Environments are filled with details that reward investigation. Sigils on walls, books with disturbing contents, photographs you wish you hadn't found. The world tells you stories without saying anything directly. The supernatural elements emerge gradually. What starts as quiet ritual practice becomes encounters with things that shouldn't exist. The pacing of revelation is masterful. Sanity management is real. Performing rituals damages your perception of reality. Eventually, you can't trust what you see or hear. The Occultist releases 2026.
I hope this will be our last journey and bring us richness and freedom. But what's the value of human freedom if it's to face hell?
The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, adapts a forgotten Lovecraft story into a survival horror experience. The setting is the American Southwest, a mysterious mound that shouldn't exist, something inside that predates human civilization, and you've been hired to investigate. The atmosphere is the game's greatest strength. Vast, empty landscapes that feel watched. Silence that means something is wrong. The natural world bent slightly out of shape in ways that build dread constantly. The cosmic horror is handled with genuine intelligence, not just tentacles and madness. The actual Lovecraftian concept of humanity's insignificance in a universe that doesn't care about us. Sanity is mechanical and meaningful. The more you learn, the more your reality fragments. Late-game perception is genuinely unreliable. What you see may not be what's there. Combat is limited and rarely the right choice. Understanding what you face is more important. Some things cannot be fought, only avoided. The game respects that horror truth. Discoveries unfold through environmental investigation, ancient writings, ritual sites, survivor accounts. Each one adds context that changes everything. The Mound, Omen of Cthulhu, releases 2026.
You never should have come back.
I got a message from Mira.
She's been gone a long time. Ran when things got hard.
Liminal Point is the horror game built around the specific dread of spaces that shouldn't exist. Backrooms aesthetics, liminal spaces, hallways that go on too long, rooms that don't belong anywhere. The uncanny horror of architecture that's fundamentally wrong. You're trapped in a network of impossible spaces, office buildings that have no exit, hotel corridors that loop infinitely, parking garages that descend forever. Finding your way out is the entire game. The horror is built on wrongness rather than threat. Sometimes nothing is hunting you. Sometimes that's worse than being hunted. The emptiness becomes the source of fear. When threats do appear, they're disturbing in specific ways. Entities that fit the liminal aesthetic. Things that look almost right but aren't. Forms that exist in spaces they shouldn't be able to enter. The audio design is exceptional. Footsteps echo wrong in empty spaces. Fluorescent lights buzz in patterns that feel deliberate. Distant sounds that suggest other entities exist. Visual design captures backrooms aesthetics perfectly. Yellowed walls, stained carpets, lighting that feels like a memory you can't quite place. Liminal Point releases 2026. Is the horror game that made the entire internet stop and stare when footage first appeared. Built in Unreal Engine 5, the visual detail is genuinely staggering. Body horror that's carefully designed rather than cheap shock. Things that look wrong because they fundamentally are wrong. The developers stated their goal clearly: lonely, hopeless, like being somewhere you were never meant to find. The setting draws from Eastern European reality, a grounded, grim place before the horror transforms it. That grounded start is what makes the horror land harder. Gameplay mixes exploration and survival carefully. Ammo is genuinely scarce. Inventory space forces real decisions. Every item you carry means something else stays behind. Environments react dynamically to your actions. Restore power in one area, and something changes elsewhere, usually for the worse. Creature design is grotesque without being silly. Things that move wrong, behave unpredictably, give you no clear signals about what comes next. The audio creates dread independently of visuals, sounds you don't want to identify, patterns in the environment that don't make sense. ILL releases 2026.
Status report.
Looks like it penetrated through there. We need to inspect the hull damage first.
Doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't look too good either. What is that?
Directive 8020 is Supermassive Games doing their most ambitious work yet. The studio behind Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology is taking their interactive horror approach to a deep space setting for the first time. You're aboard a colony ship that has encountered something terrible. Crew members are changing, becoming wrong. Whatever is happening cannot be cured. It can only be survived. The Supermassive choice system returns more sophisticated, multiple playable characters with their own perspectives, decisions that genuinely matter for who lives and who dies. The story branches significantly based on choices. Body horror is central to the experience. What's happening to the crew is genuinely disturbing. The transformations are visually unsettling in ways that work because they feel medical rather than supernatural. The setting creates natural isolation. Deep space means no help is coming. The ship is your entire world. Every decision happens in that confined context. Performance capture has improved significantly. Characters feel like real people facing real horror. Their fear is contagious through the screen. Directive 8020 releases 2026. Last Paradise is the Korean horror game that's been generating quiet but intense buzz. The setting is Seoul, a specific neighborhood. Something has happened. The infection is everywhere. You're trapped in a high-rise apartment complex that has become the most dangerous place in the city. The vertical environment creates unique tension. Multiple floors, multiple potential threats. Sound carries between floors in unpredictable ways. You can hear things happening above and below you. The Korean horror sensibility is fully present. Different cultural relationship with the supernatural. Folklore-influenced creature design. A specific kind of psychological dread that Western horror games rarely achieve. Co-op survival is the core experience. Up to 8 players in the same building, but the building can only support so many. Resources are limited. Tensions develop naturally. PvP elements emerge organically. Other players might be allies. Other players might be threats. You won't always know which until it's too late. The atmosphere is dense and oppressive. The apartment complex feels lived in and abandoned simultaneously. Last Paradise releases 2026.
With all due respect, ma'am, what's the use of protocols if our agent dies in the field?
Let me be absolutely clear. You will be on your own.
Leela needs me, ma'am.
Agni, Village of Calamity is a horror game drawing from Indian folklore and rural mythology. The setting is a remote Indian village where ancient supernatural forces have returned. Forces that should have stayed buried. Forces that humans had agreements with that have been broken. The cultural specificity is what makes it powerful. Indian folklore is rich with supernatural traditions that Western horror games never explore. Bhoots, pretas, specific entities with specific rules. Understanding those rules is survival. You play as a villager who returns home to find everything has changed. Familiar faces, different behaviors. Someone or something has been there in your absence. The visual design pulls from authentic rural India. Old temples, banyan trees with histories, houses that have stood for generations. The setting feels genuinely lived in before becoming wrong. Rituals are central to survival. Knowing the right offerings, the right words, the right times of day for safe movement. Cultural authenticity creates the gameplay framework. Audio design uses traditional Indian sounds in unsettling ways. Distant bells, chanting that may not be real. The village's natural sounds becoming threatening. Agni, Village of Calamity releases 2026. State of Decay 3 is the zombie survival game that could finally deliver on everything the series promised. You're building a community, managing survivors. Each one has skills, weaknesses, personal histories. Losing them permanently means something real. The open world is massive and detailed. Different regions, different threats, different resources. Knowing the map gives you genuine advantages. Base building is deeper than ever before. Where you establish matters. What you build matters. Your decisions shape how your community develops over time. Combat is visceral and resource dependent. Ammo is never enough. Noise attracts more zombies. Every fight is a cost-benefit calculation. New animal-based zombie variants change everything. Infected animals create new threat vectors. Familiar wildlife becomes deadly in unexpected ways. The morale system is sophisticated. Survivors react to events, form relationships, develop conflicts that affect group dynamics. A divided community is more dangerous than any external threat. The horror comes from accumulated loss. Permadeath means every wrong decision costs you. Communities you've built can fall apart in single bad nights. State of Decay 3 releases 2026. That's the list. 11 horror games coming in 2026 that genuinely go too far. Some will disturb you with body horror. Some will get into your head with psychological dread. Some will make you question what you're willing to do to survive. Every single one pushes boundaries that mainstream horror refuses to approach. Drop which horror game scares you most in the comments. I read every single one. Hit like and subscribe for more horror gaming content every week. See you in the next one.